God, I know that my zivug, my soulmate, is already preordained. So, no, let her come. You
Right.
know, I don't know. I can wait. That's what I know how to do. Let her come. And
Right.
what happens? And immediately his prayer is answered. That was the moment. And he lifted his eyes. And what did he
There she
see?
was.
The camels are coming. Would you like to actually go and take a look at the source? You even have it in front of you as you're listening to the shiur. So all you need to do, go to our website, which is HebrewLearningCircles.org. Go to Jewish Resources, scroll down to Parsha Videos, and you'll find the source sheet right there. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that. And also share and like. Today's Parshat Hayei Sara, Parshat Chassidut, commentary by the Ishbitzer. Ve'yitzchak ba mibo be'er lechai ro'i, u'yoshev be'eretz hanegev. Yitzchak had just come back from the vicinity of Be'er Lechai Ro'i. It's a place, for he was settled in the region of the Negev, or the dry country. Vayetze Yitzchak lasuach basadeh. And Yitzchak went out walking or meditating in the field, lifnot erev, vaysainav, in the early evening, and he looked up, Vayar hinei gemalim ba'im, and he saw camels are approaching. And as Rebelli is going to tell us, we know that he saw his intended arriving. We'll hear more about that story later. So the Ishbitzer asked a few questions about this. One is, did Yitzchak have a role in meeting his wife, Rebecca, and what was it? Two, how did Yitzchak's archetypal attribute of fear of God? He was the man of Ira in the archetypes. He had the Kabbalistic energy of Gevura, of fear and tremble. How did that manifest, and how did it affect his meeting his intended? And then he asked, how does divine matchmaking work? So this is this is a commentary, a verses and commentary, really, for the matchmakers and romantics among us.
Beautiful parsha. It's framed at the beginning and at the end by the Petira, the passing away of the first patriarch and matriarch of the Jewish people, Abraham Avinu and Sara Imenu. Sara at the beginning at the age of 127, and at the end of the parsha, Abraham Avinu passes away at the age of 175. Our sages learned many, many valuable lessons from an incident which seemingly can be described in a few sentences. And Isaac got married. Abraham sent someone to find a match for his son Isaac, and they got married, Mazel Tov. But instead we have, I think, 60 some odd verses going over and over with great detail, repeated many times. So there's a great import, a great stress on this, as Reb Reuven was saying at the beginning, this idea of a man and a woman coming together to become a husband and wife. But after the long-winded narrative of how the match was found, Abraham's servant Eliezer brings the girl back with him. They're traveling back home on camels, and they see Isaac in the field, and our sages teach us that he was praying the afternoon prayer in the field, and Rivka, upon seeing her intended and being informed that this was her intended, she got so excited she fell off her camel, and they lived you could say happily ever after. They have challenges in their life, but and they lived happily ever after. And just to throw one more detail out so people can put this in context, this was not an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old young man. This was a 40-year-old, what we used to call middle-aged. Now,
היינו, כי יצחק היה שורש לכל האירות שבעולם. So Ishmael starts with Yitzchak's archetype. Yitzchak was the root of all the fear or awe in the world. Right there, he was Gevura. Af b'shev ve'al taseh. Even in his passive state, sit and do nothing. That I just want to say that in itself is a powerful statement, because often I think of Gevura, of fear. I think of a warrior, somebody who's active, and here he says you didn't even have to be active for that. Moshe Ne'emar, v'yoshev be'eretz hanegev. So now the Ishmael is going to bring a proof text for that, which is right in the Psukim, in the pasuk that we're reading, and he is dwelling in the dry land. That is the connotation, I guess. The Negev is the dried up land. The Negev is desert. He's sitting in the desert region. Ainu menugav mikol chemda. So what does that mean? It means that he is dried of all desires.
Right. So first, it's a beautiful play on words. I just want to point out that the Negev, as we know, is an area towards the southern part of the land of Israel. That's its name, the Negev. Yeah. But in the Hebrew language, this root also refers to in halacha as well. Right. Nun Gimel base, to the drying of one's hands. The connection obvious, an arid, dry land. So when he says, it's a play on words, he says he was dwelling in the Negev. I think Beersheba. He was living in existence of coldness, of dryness towards emotional excitement. Mm-hmm. In other words, he wasn't particularly possibly interested in getting married. He was interested in serving God in a state of gevura, in a state of constrictedness, in a state of God-fearingness. And he might have felt that to actively seek out and to get involved with the whole thing with a wife might have distracted him from his avoda, from his serving God in his way.
Right. And I think the way I read it is more specific. It's not like in getting involved with a wife per se, but seeking a wife. I mean, if you're seeking a wife, you have to go out there, you have to date, you have to also have some attraction. Am I attracted to this one? I'm attracted to that one. But if you're so constraining or so self-disciplined to squash down attraction, desire, because you don't want to waste that energy, you want to point that towards your spiritual connection. How will you mate? You got to have some. I mean, right? The Gemara tells us that Yetzer Hara. The world needs Yetzer Hara because the world needs desire. Without desire, there would be no procreation. There would be nothing would be built. Nothing would be. People would not. So it's a little bit of it gets into that again paradox that we talked about paradox last time. Right. The world needs some level of attraction, connectivity for people to mate. But if you're so holy, so disciplined, how are you going to do that?
Exactly. So and this idea of shevelotase, the idea of being passive, allowing it to come to him. There's this philosophy people have even now, a little bit of a Stoic philosophy, whereby if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
I don't have to make
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Let the world come to me.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. What we call bashert. Taken to the extreme, right?
Yeah, taken to the extreme is right.
Soulmate taken to the extreme. Let my soulmate float into my life. If she's
somehow.
intended, somehow she's gonna.
I'm gonna find her. She'll find me. Okay.
Exactly. זאת אברהם אבינו שהכיר את נפש יצחק בזה. So that's why Abraham, our father, our forefather, who knew the essence of Yitzchak's spirit, וידע מאוד, נמצא בו יראה לעשות איזה מעשה בקום ועשה. So Avraham Avinu, he knew that he had so much yira to
wouldn't want to be actively involved. Right.
Exactly. Right up and take initiative. Shalachu Avdol is a biglo zivug. He sent his servant to find him a match.
Right. This answers the question someone might have. Why didn't Abraham tell his 40-year-old son, go find a shidduch?
Yeah, that's right.
Go to our family back in Haran and go find somebody. Go find this nephew, this cousin. Right. Why does he have to send he knows where he's sending him. He's not sending him out into Yaakov. He's sending him to a specific place for a specific reason. Send the young man.
Right. And now we know
this
why.
answers why. We know why.
Now we know why.
He understood the nature of his child. That's another lesson.
Yeah. Beautiful. Ach be'emet, met Adonai et hazot. But in truth, this was all from God, ordained from God, and he's actually quoting here the Tehillim, Psalm 118, 23, that everything is from God, and that actually is now more consistent even with the Yitzchak position. Everything is from God, right? Let it come. But even this was from God, that Abraham should have needed to send the servant. Because it is time for Yitzchak our forefather, to marry a wife. And now even Yitzchak, in his heart, there was an awakening of, and here he quotes Lo Tov Ra'ah from Isaiah, that the world was not created in chaos.
We're the reason why God created the world. Therefore, if it stops with me, I did not fulfill, as we spoke about a few weeks ago, interestingly, the 5 steps of creation. Remember that from Parshas Bereshis? The 5 uses of the term or. And the fifth use of the word light in the creation process was pointing towards having children.
That's right. That's the ultimate. That is the purpose of life, is to procreate and to be. So he's realizing that he needs to be involved with this. There's another side to being Yarei Hashem. The part of his yira is to also fulfill his duty. It's the first mitzvah, right? The Pu'uvu, the very first mitzvah in the Torah. For all humankind is be fruitful and multiply, and that it's time for that, and that is part of the order of the world, and he needs to participate in that purpose.
Right.
But still, he was fearful to take any physical initiative, to take action. He needs to do something, but he doesn't want to do it actively because that goes against his archetype of self-discipline and That's why he went out into the field. Some say that lasuach basadeh is to meditate and to להתפלל and to pray to God. שיעזרו לו בזה ויזמין לו זיווג. So God can help him with this and make a match available to him.
So this is pretty amazing. So he's not going to start making phone calls or be on the phone with the shotgun for 2 hours. How come I didn't like this? How come I'm not going out with that one? What happened on the date? And he's not going to do that. But he'll at least daven.
Yeah.
He'll at least when he's davening, he'll think about I should get a good shidduch. You know, that's
Well, yeah, well, yeah. That's the passive active, right? He'll
right,
be
right,
active in a passive way. But I think this is also, I think what Ishmael is pointing out here is that it's the doing by non-doing. It's the spiritual, that spiritual action is as powerful, I think, is what Ishmael is saying, and that was his mode. Now he brings proof text. Yes, he will go by. Well, this is from the Gemara. In the Gemara, the case is that one should not pray for one's zivug because the zivug is already preordained from from on high. So if it's already preordained and you're praying for something else, the case in the Gemara is that then you won't get what you're praying for, and then it's going to bring you into conflict with God. So that's the Gemara. But he's saying here, here's the people go by. So the point is, wait a minute, Yitzchak wasn't off here. Yitzchak knew that his zivug was already there. You would think that he's just he's passive, he's lazy, or he's too holy. He's too holy for his own good. As they say. But actually, Yitzchak knew that. Yitzchak knew that he didn't pray for a particular woman. Not that he wanted a particular woman, but he prayed, God, I know that my zivug, my soulmate, is already preordained. So no, let her come.
right.
I don't know. I can wait. That's what I know how to do. Let her come. And what happens? Umiyad na'ana b'tfilato. And immediately his prayer is answered. That was the moment. And here the Ishbita says, "Vayisayna v'chule." He quotes the verse, and he lifted his eyes, and what did he see? The camels are coming. Now he brings another verse from Yeshaya that says, "Before you even call, I will answer you." It's just like
right. The Gemara, a different Gemara says that 40 days before the fetus is even formed within the womb, a baskol, a heavenly voice, announces that this is what angels are doing. According to the Talmud, angels are making matchmakers.
Yeah.
The daughter of so and so to the son of so and so.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. He cites the verse in Tehillim, Me'es Hashem haisazois. This comes from God. It comes from God.
Yeah. Eliezer is asking Laban's permission to take his sister back for Avram, and he's trying to prevent it with all kinds of trickery. And in the end, he says, "Well, it's meant to be." They also ask her, and she knows in her nevuah, she knows that she's intended for him. So you can see that Yitzchak's understanding that she's coming. If Abraham is sending his servant, Yitzchak doesn't even know it, and then he's praying, and boom! The moment he's praying, what he knew all along in his heart is that his zivug will come to him. There, the camels are coming. So
Right. So what strikes me, what I'm taking from this piece is that there's always this tension between how much effort, how badly I want something, how much effort, and in what direction I need to go, how much I need to let things happen by themselves. The forcing of an issue.
Yeah.
Versus the laying back a little bit, and what my active role in, and this could be from a very simple daily activity to short-term goals, long-term goals in our lives, our relationships as well.
What I also I'm inspired by is the power of prayer and meditation as an active force. You could say it's a passive force, but it's at least equally powerful um, because he goes out into the field, lasuach. I mean, this is I'm thinking about it in the context that he's initiating the practice of afternoon prayers for all time, on our tradition. So it's not just, I can't do anything else, I'll pray, or I'm so miserable, I'll pray. No, it's like you can actually effectuate the world and life and God. It's not just an afterthought or a virtuous, activity. It really has a power that, has a gevura power. It makes a difference. This is a little bit to be a bracha for all those who are looking for their soulmate. May she or he come to you, b'mirabe amenu, quickly in our times, in the right time for you. And amen. With that, we're going to close today. Thank you, everybody. Click subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. We really appreciate that. Like to have that extra layer of connection with you. Like and subscribe. Come back next Wednesday, 9:00 in the morning. Shalom for now.
Boises ahavo ayim rabim lo yuklu